6 months later.
As soon as he's done.
All I'm going to do is announce that it's being carried.
It's going. Ready whenever you are.
We all stand for a pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. I'd like to call the Borough of Saraville Planning Board meeting of July 21st, 2021 to order. Beth, has this meeting been advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act?
Yes, Chairman, it has.
Thank you. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Diadio?
Here.
Mr. Allegra?
Here.
Mr. Bailey?
Here.
Mr. Gianaris?
Here.
Mr. McEnone?
Present.
Councilwoman Marr?
Here.
Ms. Ochenge? Here. Ms. Patel?
Here.
Ms. Pulowski? Mr. Ty?
Here.
Chairman Davis?
Here.
Mr. Cornell?
Here.
Mr. Alfieri?
Here.
Mr. Fowler?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Memorialization of resolutions.
This evening, we have the Burnett Minor Subdivision, extension of time, Frank Avenue, Eugene Boulevard, Block 413, Lot 10.
Okay, thank you.
We need a motion, Chairman.
Make a motion that the extension be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call. Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Allegra?
Yes.
Mr. McEnone?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Chairman Davis?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm now looking for an acceptance of the June 16th meeting minutes. Does anyone have any questions or concerns with the minutes?
Having seen none, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Any communications?
No, not this evening.
Site plans and subdivision?
So, Mr. Chairman, the agenda has on Arsenal Trade Center, which there were two notice issues that did come up, and after speaking with the applicant's counsel, it was decided that the matter be carried to the August 4th meeting. The planning board has not taken jurisdiction yet, and the applicant is going to renotice for that meeting. So if there's anybody from the public here today with regards to that application, nothing is going to be discussed today. The plan is to have, after renoticing, to be heard at the August 4th meeting.
Well, it's not the public portion.
We haven't opened up to public yet, so. We'll address the public
When we open to
comments
the
when we open
public,
to the
we're not
public.
open to the
Thank you.
public. Thank you. Okay, old business, new business, and administrative matters.
So this evening, we have discussion from planner Michael Fowler to members regarding the draft national amusement study.
I just had been advised by Dante that this evening I'm just distributing copies of the National Amusement Study for your review in hard copy. I've had some problems with formatting, so if you look at some things that might not be in exactly the right place. But next week, once it's noticed, You'll get a digital copy, and everything will be in order. And in the meantime, if you don't mind taking a look through, and some questions, and then we'll have a public hearing. I think it'll be 4 weeks from tonight. What's the date of that meeting?
That was August 18th.
August 18th will be the public hearing on, on the investigation report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
That is correct. So what's going to happen is, Beth's going to provide some notice. There's notice requirements per the statute with regards to an investigation into a redevelopment area. From there will be a hearing, and we're slating August 18th as that hearing date. Mr. Fowler, who was retained to conduct the investigation for the redevelopment plan, if you remember from the last meeting, or maybe a few meetings ago, I should say. And at that meeting itself, there will be a hearing. He'll provide a presentation, and then depending on the board's feelings, we could have a motion to adopt a resolution. Thereafter, I will draft a resolution to go back to the council, either recommending or not recommending the redevelopment, and then from there, the process will go on into a redevelopment plan if it is recommended as such.
So we're discussing this at August 18th meeting,
That's the plan.
not August 4th, it's just the,
August 4th is not. There's a 2-week requirement for notices, so we don't have the time to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next item was tentative as well. Members to review, discuss, and approve prospective settlement between National Lead Industries, Inc. versus Saraville.
Chairman, there's nothing further to discuss at this time. We are still waiting to hear back from plaintiff's counsel as it relates to the settlement agreement.
Thank you, Dante.
The third matter, just the next meeting of August 4th.
Jay?
Mr. Chairman, you have one application, which is the carryover from this evening, the Arsenal Trade Center, which is a major subdivision site plan. Mr. Chairman, as you're aware, I've been noticed on that, so I will have to recuse myself from hearing that application.
Thank you. Now I'd entertain a motion to open to the public.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Anyone from the public wish to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jim Robinson, 11 Burrell Square in Portland. With respect to
Excuse
Arsenal
me.
Trade Center,
Can you please speak up? I could not catch your name.
I'm sorry?
I could not catch your name when you were speaking.
I couldn't.
I could not catch your name. What was your name?
James Robinson, 11 Burrell Square in Portland.
Does that mic go down, Jim? Can you pull that?
It
towards-
says, "Do not touch."
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I follow instructions.
To be able to hold them. Okay.
Okay. Did you say there were notice issues, plural?
There was one noticed issue as it relates to there was a clerical error on the agenda, which mentions that there was a Zoom meeting opposed to an in-person meeting,
Okay.
which it was brought to our attention. and
Was that the notice issue?
That was the notice.
Okay, I called that to the attention of the governing body Monday night because the agenda that was posted said teleconference, telecommunications via Zoom. So it wasn't the applicant's error.
No, it was not not the applicant's error. The applicant's actual notice did provide for an in-person meeting, but at an abundance of caution, we conferred with the applicant, and it was determined that carrying it to the following meeting was the best course of action.
Okay, so if the issue was that the agenda said that it would be telecommunication via Zoom rather than in person, wouldn't that flaw go to the entire meeting rather than to just this application?
Not necessarily,
No?
because we're discussing, everything that was discussed today was administrative in essence, as it relates to the application itself, and we left it up to the applicant to make the decision.
Okay,
As
so
to whether or not they wanted to carry it.
Out of an
and they-
abundance of caution, he opted to. Okay, but you don't think the fact that the agenda said telecommunications via Zoom was a flaw?
Well, whether I believe it was a flaw or not a flaw, it was determined that the applicant
Yeah.
did not want to proceed
Because,
with that.
well, I'm not talking about the applicant, I'm talking about the meeting in general. I mean, if the notice of the meeting is deficient,
The notice of
then the
was
meeting
not-
shouldn't be conducted. I'm just asking.
Yeah, so the notice of the meeting was not necessarily deficient. The agenda that had.
It was the
posted
agenda,
on
okay.
Monday, or whenever it was posted, had a notation error.
Okay.
Which was changed.
So,
But at the beginning of the year, the dates are set for everyone, for every meeting we have.
yes,
So, in person at the
I'm,
time.
I'm aware of that law. Okay. All right, and I'm assuming it was just a cut and paste error because we had
Clerical
been
error.
meeting by Zoom.
And that's why the meeting is being, that portion
Okay.
of the meeting was being carried.
All right, well, I brought it to the attention of the mayor and council and the councilman who is the Class 3 member on Monday night, and I'm glad it was pursued, and the applicant, out of an abundance and caution, wanted to move his meeting to August 4th, when fewer people will be in attendance, probably. Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Anyone else from the public?
My name is Robert Kellett, Steiner Court, Saraville, New Jersey. I got a couple of questions. I've seen Hercules burn years ago when I lived over in Madison Park. Has that land all been irradiated, all toxins and everything been taken out of there? Or is it still contaminated land?
I don't believe that's an appropriate question for this.
Sure it is. You're gonna build on it.
But that's not an appropriate question for this particular board.
Well, you're a planning board.
There's no application before
Well,
the board.
I'm asking a question from me, and I'd like to know.
You would like to know
If
exactly.
that land is still contaminated or it's been cleaned up by the EPA.
It's not an application before the board, so the
Yeah, but
board doesn't
you're
have
gonna
the
let these
jurisdiction.
people, you're gonna let these people build on that land, am I correct?
Who are these people that you're?
The tower, they're gonna build 3 warehouses there, am I correct?
He's talking about the Hercules project.
Hercules project.
But
That's not an application in front of us.
There's no application before us at this point, and the board's position is they rule on applications before the board.
Yeah, but
So right now, we
the
don't have
application and
anything.
everything was online, I looked at it, and my question is.
The application that's not being heard tonight,
Yeah,
we have not taken jurisdiction to that application yet. That's why it's being carried to another meeting, and there's gonna be new notices for it. So at this time, the board has no jurisdiction to discuss the matter.
okay,
At the actual meeting, and if you have those questions, and you'd like to appear then and ask those questions, then
sure.
you're.
I mean, that's a big concern, I mean, that's been contaminated land for over 60 years, that I know of.
August 4th, come back.
And if that's,
That's-
if the applicant will be here, if that's
Yeah.
the property you're speaking of.
Yeah, but you don't know if that was cleaned up during the
again,
prior years, before they put an application in.
Before they put an application in, I couldn't tell.
Well, I mean, that's topic number 1, you should know that.
We have Jay Cornell, who's the engineer, he could give some
Maybe he
insight to
could
that.
put some more insight and
Mr.
answer
Chairman,
your question.
in general, I can tell you that there's an ongoing environmental cleanup on that property.
Okay,
That will be addressed when the application is presented to the board. They can tell you exactly what the status is, but there are soil conditions and groundwater conditions.
Right.
And there's an ongoing cleanup of that property.
will that be all done before the construction or anything's done in there?
There are conditions that are in a redevelopment agreement with
Right.
the redevelopment agency that require that to be done before any permits are issued for any development.
Okay,
More specific information will be provided by the applicant at the meeting.
Okay.
But generally, to answer your question, there's a problem there now, it's in the process of being cleaned up, and before any permits for construction are issued, they're gonna have to have certifications from their professionals that are overseeing that, to make sure there aren't any problems with that permit being issued.
okay. Just one other question I got about traffic. Will that be going up South Minute Sink to Washington, or are they gonna go out Cheesequake Road to Ward down?
The traffic analysis and all of anything related to traffic would be discussed during the application itself.
Okay,
So the board, again, does not have jurisdiction
All right, no,
over
I
it, so
just-
we can't really speak to something that's not before the board yet.
okay,
I'm
very
sure
good,
your questions will all be answered.
no problem.
his fourth meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman. I have a follow-up question. I should have asked this earlier. The other application that's on for the 4th, do you anticipate that that will be a lengthy application? No? Okay.
No, Mr., there is no other application.
There is no other this is the only one on the 4th?
Fourth, correct.
Okay, thank you. And when was Arsenal deemed complete?
What was it deemed? I don't have a file on it. I can get back to you on that.
I think you get.
You don't know when it was deemed complete? Because the clock is...
And I do not have it on me. Could not tell you. But we can certainly get you that information.
Look at that. You can call it tomorrow.
Okay,
Is that
yeah,
okay?
I appreciate that. We always, you know the danger in not knowing that, obviously. And another comment, maybe a suggestion. A lot of folks who are interested in the Arsenal Trade Center application and didn't know that it was pulled until members of the public did something on social media. If the board knew that, it might have been helpful if something were posted at least on the borough website. Because I assume that you spoke to Mr. Tripp sometime today,
Understood, but
and so you knew at some point before 7:30 that it would be carried, right? So I just think it would be an accommodation to the public. Because I probably got 8 or 9 emails from folks who thanked me for letting them know it had been postponed. And that was, I think I found out about 2 o'clock today. So I think it would, we're here to serve the public. I think it would not have taken a great effort to post something on the borough website saying that it's been postponed and carried. So just a helpful suggestion.
we'll take that into
Okay,
consideration.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Have a
it.
great evening.
Yes, you as well.
You as well.
Be safe. Anyone else from the public wish to speak?
Make a motion to close the public portion.
Can I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Adjourn.
Need a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
See everyone.
See you on August 4th.
Yeah. We all signed up?
No, not yet.
Because we all want to be together. I know, that's true.
Next time you'll have hours away from you. 2 weeks. We won't tell if you don't say anything.
See that? See that? Little map.
Bye, have a good one.
There.
Thank you.
Yeah, like 300.
Our office, we used to be off of Ravine. We live a walk from there, now it's off of Broad Street and 34.
Hey, Mike.
Exit.
That one, yeah.
Park. Or 286.
Depends where you live, we're gonna have this bypass. Yeah, okay.
riding around looking for someplace, I saw the Hercules place, and we went and ate. My son is, he makes us a beer.
Oh, he does his own?
Pictures of the, you know, took pictures of the menu and sent it to him.
Good job there. You never even know what's
Today,
there.
it's,
They don't
they're
even have
kicking,
a
they are.
good sign. It's just very,
It doesn't
I was
look.
wondering with, I guess you're gonna have kind of a transit, is of a big, they were much more busy or,
trying to.
is your office not